Hi, hello guys. So you hope आप सब बिल्कुल ठीक ठाक होंगे. My name is Suman. I am from Pakistan. यहाँ पर जी आज हम देखेंगे the वीडियो का टाइटल है Can India become the world's third largest economy under the नरेंद्र मोदी. क्या नरेंद्र मोदी के कंट्रोल में रह के इंडिया दुनिया की तीसरी सबसे बड़ी इकोनॉमी बन सकता है? Well, let's watch the video. काफ़ी इंटरेस्टिंग वीडियो लग रही है. वीडियो देखने से पहले चैनल पे न्यू है तो चैनल को लाजमी सब्सक्राइब और वीडियो को लाजमी लाइक करें. तो चलते हैं देखते हैं वीडियो. लेट्स गो.
The Indian economy is doing well.
I am more optimistic today about India as a whole economically than I have been for a long time.
Most of the world's major financial institutions agree India is set to see significant economic growth in the coming years. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi says if he wins this election, he will propel India from the world's fifth largest economy to the third largest.
India will be the third largest economy soon.
It'd be an inspiring feat for the world's largest democracy and the most populous country on earth. In the last few years, the Indian stock market has seen sky-high growth. A few months ago, the National Stock Exchange of India surpassed its Hong Kong counterpart to become the world's seventh largest. Siddharth Khemka is head of retail research at a leading financial services firm in Mumbai, the country's commercial capital.
There is a lot of excitement on the trading floor. A lot of clients are calling, activity is on a high, people are making money. There's a lot of euphoria on the dealing desk. So last financial year, if you look at FY24, we had a very massive bull run in the Indian equities. Post the pandemic, that is where we saw a lot of momentum in the market. FY21 and FY22, those were very good years. From the macro front, India's GDP has been on a very strong show. So the FY25, we are going to do an exit at about 7.2% GDP growth rate. The Indian government is expecting a growth of 7%, and this would be one of the highest growth among both developed as well as emerging markets.
This is the
International Monetary Fund last month raised its growth projection for India's GDP to 6.8% this financial year. Last year, it was an impressive 7.8%. Big Indian corporations like Adani's companies and Ambani's Reliance have been making enormous strides. And Adani's companies, despite an institutional ruling of disclosure violation. There are a handful of big companies that are driving much of India's wealth creation. But some economists are calling this a jobless growth.
The first thing that you must know about India is that a very small fraction have regular employment. Formal employment, even regular salaries are much smaller. Even rich India doesn't often earn predictably and regularly. So that's the first place where I would situate it in, which means that when the economy does well, there is a lot of work. When the economy does badly, everybody takes a proportionate haircut. As far as young India is concerned, it is true that a higher level of economic activity would be far better for young India, and that is the hope that we're going to get there.
There are 808 million people below the age of 35, accounting for 66% of India's entire population. And for a country with a sizable youth dividend, youth unemployment has become a massive problem. The International Labour Organization reported that 83% of India's unemployed are young people, a figure the government has strongly objected to, saying its youth unemployment rate is only 5%, down from 7% in 2019. Many of those unemployed are graduates who struggle to find work or have to take up low-paying jobs outside their fields. Casey Singh is a tutor for the Civil Services exam in Delhi. Each year, thousands of aspirants study to excel in this exam in order to get a government job. But the competition for these few positions gets more intense each year.
तो क्लास में मान चलिए कि बच्चों की संख्या ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा 50 हुआ करती थी. अब इस समय उस कोचिंग में 200 से लेकर 500 तक बच्चे बैठे हैं.
Mukherjee Nagar is full of students who have been throwing themselves at this exam year after year to get a government job.
जो कोई भी बच्चा एस्पिरेंट है वो लोअर क्लास में गरीब परिवार से आता है, अगर वो चाहता है कि मैं मेहनत करके अचानक से ऊपर आऊँ, अपर क्लास में आऊँ, मतलब एलिट क्लास में अंदर में जा सकूँ, तो उसके लिए सबसे बेहतर रास्ता यही होता है।
तो आप ये
हाँ
तैयारी
जी, मैं भी तैयारी कर रहा हूँ। मेरे को हो गया 4-5 साल
को क्यों इतना डिजायरेबल है? मतलब क्या मिलता है गवर्नमेंट की नौकरी में?
परमानेंसी एक तो होती
Job
है कि क्या नाम
security।
है, जॉब सिक्योरिटी, कि इसमें चाहे जैसे कोरोना के टाइम में जितनी भी प्राइवेट जॉब्स थी तो सबको फायर कर दिया गया था, जिनका मतलब इतना था नहीं एक्सपीरियंसेस वगैरह। और गवर्नमेंट जॉब में एक ऐसा चीज़ है कि उसमें मतलब तुम सिक्योर रहते हो।
Hi, how are you? Lovely meeting you. Do come in.
Dr. Pranab Sen is the former chief statistician of India, who says it's a challenging time for young people in the country, despite the growing economy.
And so how would you describe the Indian economy's performance today compared to what the expectations were about 10 years ago? Do you think it's fulfilled its promise?
No, I don't think so. I think it's performed below par. Because really, we had reached a stage when our expectations was that anything less than 7% would be sub-performance. And we have consistently performed below that. So you might say that, look, we've got 7+ after 22, but that's just because of the base year problem, because you had a negative growth in 2021. But if you look at it on the terms of the long-term average, it's significantly below that. It's actually around 5%.
It might be do or die for India's demographic dividend. After all, the youth bulge is waiting to either be seized or squandered.
People are not getting jobs. Then instead of reporting themselves as looking for jobs, they are saying we're not in the labor market. Now that is bad news. Because what it means is, usually if the expectations are that things will turn around quickly, then people stay in the labor force. But when people withdraw, the general interpretation is that people have lost hope. And that is never a good sign for an economic system. One of the things, sort of facts of it, of growth and development, is that people move out of agriculture into more productive non-agricultural occupations. And we were doing exactly that. That's reversed. And there's been a sharp increase in the number of people who are engaged in agriculture, which means that there's a lot of distress employment, that people who don't have work have essentially gone back to the family farms.
Some experts say that India has been seeing a K-shaped growth, where larger companies are doing better and taking GDP along with them, while small businesses are doing worse.
All the data suggests that corporate India was doing very, very well, much better than it's done before. But non-corporate India, which is the micro, small, medium enterprises, they were doing very badly. In fact, they were going down. And particularly during the lockdown period in 2020, right through 21. Over that period, the estimate is somewhere between 15 to 20% of the MSMEs simply close shop. Now that's a serious damage, and I don't think that's been made up. Youth unemployment is high. We've always had fairly high youth unemployment, but now it's gone up significantly. Typically, we used to think of youth unemployment as hanging around 14-15.
ओके जी, ओके ये रिपोर्ट आप लोगों ने देखी है। यहाँ पे जी जो नरेंद्र मोदी हैं, उनका ये दावा है कि वो अपने दौरे हुकूमत में, अपनी गवर्नमेंट में इंडिया को दुनिया की तीसरे सबसे लार्जेस्ट जो एक इकॉनमी है वो बनाएंगे। वेल, जहाँ पे इसको थर्ड लार्जेस्ट बनाना कितने % पॉसिबिलिटी है? वेल, जहाँ पे इंडिया की अगर ग्रोथ रेट को देखा जाए, जीडीपी को देखा जाए, तो इट्स क्वाइट गुड। और अच्छी जो कंट्रीज़ हैं जो तेज़ी से प्रोग्रेस कर रही हैं, वहाँ पे इतनी ग्रोथ होना एक बहुत बहुत बढ़िया चीज़ होती है। तो यहाँ पे अगर इंडिया भी आगे जो है लार्जेस्ट हो सकता है, लाइक थर्ड लार्जेस्ट बन सकता है, तो वाई नॉट यार, बनना चाहिए इंडिया को। और लाइक यहाँ पे कुछ लोग इससे एग्री करेंगे, कुछ लोग डिसएग्री करेंगे, बिकॉज़ मोदी की पॉलिसीज़ को लेके बहुत से लोगों को इख्तलाफ भी है और वो इस चीज़ को बिल्कुल भी एक्सेप्ट नहीं करते कि मोदी जो है इंडिया के अंदर बेहतरी लेके आएगा या ऐसे कोई बड़ा काम करके दिखाएगा। आप लोग क्या कहेंगे इस हवाले से, आप लोगों का क्या कहना, जो भी कहना चाहते हैं लास्ट में कमेंट सेक्शन में। वीडियो को लाइक और शेयर करें, अपना ख्याल रखें, अपने इस चैनल का भी। आई विल सी यू टिल देन, टेक केयर, अल्लाह हाफिज़, बाय बाय।